I can't fucking do it. I can't. They shot and fucking killed a man today in Biddeford, Maine, because he was an immigrant who's actually a native man of the land. There's a dead body across the street from my house, and that is a human being that was murdered because he just wanted freedom and a taste of freedom. Like, what the fuck? I hate this fucking place. I hate it so much.
The man killed by ICE today had his daughter in the car. She's only 3 years old, and she just watched her father get shot in the face, pulled out of a car, given no medical care, and is now scarred for life. A man who had work authorization and a social security number. A man who was doing something that shooting into his car was a violation of the policies of ICE itself for use of force. I'm so sick at what this country's become, and I guarantee you there'll be a ton of MAGAs in the replies congratulating this, because they're sick, disgusting people.
Snatching people from their place of work while they're trying to make a better life for themselves, and you come in there saying it's an immigration raid, you don't tell people what they're arrested for, you put them in the back of your regular Jeep Wrangler, and you say you're doing it for immigration, put on your mask and covering up your face so no one knows who you are, putting them in your actual car. That's secret police. That's what that is. And guess what? You're not doing that in our city. You're not doing that in the 32nd district. And Brad Sherman, now's the time to speak up. Let's go.
So ICE just murdered another immigrant, another Latino, is being told that he's from Colombia, 26 years old. ICE has been given the license to kill, destroy, steal from families in this country. It is truly a license to kill. ICE has ramped it up in broad daylight. It is a license of lynching. It is a license to just kill and preserve white supremacy. This is Project 2025. I don't know what phase it's on now, but we can clearly see that Project 2025 was real, and it's happening in real time. These are the consequences of people, especially white evangelicals, that push to support Trump and this evil administration, led also by Stephen Miller, who is another puppeteer who has strings attached to him, who uses the same immigration blueprint that Adolf Hitler did. So, and it's sad, and it's happening in our country, but we have another murdered person in broad daylight in Maine, from Colombia, 26 years old, young, with family. But this is what's taking place in our country, and these are the things that us as in the Latino community need to learn from and understand. They don't care about you. They never cared about you. Everyone just wanted a handout. That's what happened, okay? And that's the issue we have within ourselves, and we need to fight the good fight. We need to pray and keep up every family member. Still people being held in detention centers or concentration camps. That's what they are. But another person is dead. And ICE has been given rights, legal rights to do this, okay? Because this is what they do. This is what they've been doing. And we need to push through. We need to remove everyone who's associated with Trump, and every level of government needs to be removed. In Christ Yeshua's name, amen.
Listen, I don't care that undocumented immigrants are hardworking. I don't care that they pay $100 billion in taxes every year. I don't care that they work long hours and arduous jobs that most people wouldn't consider. I don't care about any of that. I care that they are human beings. And that is what we should be focused on, because nobody fucking deserves to be treated like this. What is happening here in Los Angeles and all over the country is absolutely fucking disgusting. It does not matter what side of some made-up line you were born on, okay? It doesn't matter what language you speak or what color your skin is. I'm only American because I happen to be born here. It's complete chance. I am no more deserving of rights or resources strictly because I have an American birth certificate. And we've been conditioned by a capitalist society to believe that a person's value is solely based on what they can produce for billionaire oligarchs. We believe that people's worth is solely based on the profits they can contribute. And if that were true, immigrants should be valued 10 times over. But that's not what's important. What's important is these are people, okay? These are mothers, their fathers, brothers, sisters, friends, neighbors. They're human beings. And nobody deserves to walk around in constant fear that they might be kidnapped from their place of work in an unmarked van and thrown in a cage, or worse, shipped off to a foreign prison in a country they've never even visited. And I don't care where you're born. I don't even care if you're accused of a crime. You deserve your day in court. You deserve to be read your rights and understand the situation and be given an attorney to plead your case. And we have to stop focusing on how much they contribute, how hardworking they are. I understand we're trying to appeal to a group of people with very little, if any, empathy, but we cannot dehumanize them. They are more than just cheap labor. They are human beings, and they deserve so much better.
That's right. Being undocumented is not a proof that someone is a criminal. America is truly changing right before our eyes, and millions of Americans are asking a painful question. What happened to the country we once knew? This is bigger than Republican or even Democrat. It's about what kind of a country America wants to be.
What are they doing? Murdering innocent Mexican people. They come to work.
Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud, say it clear. Immigrants are welcome here. Say it loud.
Trump did this to us. What happened to taking the murderers out? What happened to taking the rapists out? What happened to taking the drug dealers down? Not innocent people. That's not what you said, President Trump. You didn't say that.
So America's modern-day Gestapo, federal ICE agents, have struck again in my home city of Houston, Texas, taking out Mr. Lorenzo, a man who wasn't even their target. But I want to make a broader point here. And I'm speaking directly to my Latin, Mexican, any of you from that heritage that live in this country, whether you're here legally or illegally. I hope you're paying attention. And I hope you guys are seeing with clear eyes what is taking place to your community. Because fundamentally, folks, everything that these ICE agents are doing, the way that this organization is being weaponized against your people is of no surprise. The Democratic Party messaged about it when Kamala was running in 2024, and Donald Trump boasted about using federal ICE agents in this manner. And it is costing people their lives. In being from Harris County, I know how a lot of you in that community vote. And I'm not saying this to bash, but I am saying this for you guys to understand your vote has consequences. And as a result of that, innocent people are dying for no damn reason. Mr. Lorenzo was not the target. They were actually going after someone else. But the unfortunate piece, there was no body cam footage. Nobody got any of this on film. And so it will be an illegal family's word against the federal government. And we all know how that's going to play out. I hope you guys vote accordingly come November.
The man that ICE murdered today in Maine came here the right way, had a social security number. They don't give a fuck about your immigration status.
I hope you know that they want you to not care about what happened in Maine today. They want you to forget that you saw a headline that said a man was unalived by an ICE agent, your federal agent, in Maine. They also want you to forget that you read the exact same headline last week, but in Houston, Texas. They want you to think that this is the new normal. And they want you to become so desensitized to reading headlines like this that when it comes up again, you're just like, oh, it happened again, whatever. We absolutely cannot let that happen. We cannot make this our new normal. We cannot make this okay in the United States of America. Do not look away at what happened today or last week or a few months before then. It absolutely is not normal or okay that this is happening in the United States. There must be an end to what is happening.
After everything that I have seen and heard over the last year, honestly, I've never felt less patriotic than I do in this moment.
I just watched the video from the woman who was directly across the street from the young man who was killed by ICE in Maine today. He was 26 years old. He was fully legal in the US. And he was killed in cold blood while his neighbors watched. And unsurprisingly, there are mass protests in Maine currently. Because just like all of the other ICE murders, this was completely unjust. These people are out of control. They are making this country more dangerous. And this continues to happen. It is not stopping. How many more people are going to die?
Every country has a right to enforce its laws and control its borders, but the government should do so by treating people with human dignity and compassion. People who have stayed in the US for years, they deserve fair treatment and due process. But many Americans believe that that balance has been lost. America has been built and shaped by immigrants. Millions of undocumented immigrants, they work long hours in agriculture, construction, restaurants, hotels, childcare, cleaning services, and other countless jobs that help keep the American economy running. They pay taxes, raise children, build businesses, attend churches, and have become part of the local communities. So America should create a realistic legal pathways for immigrants and ensuring enforcement respects constitutional rights and human dignity. Fear, anger, and division will not solve immigration problems. A country cannot move forward when neighbors see each other as enemies instead of fellow human beings. Right now, political divisions have become deeper. Families are arguing over politics. Friendships have ended. The real question America must answer is what kind of a country they want to leave for the next generation. Because throughout history, the US has presented itself as a nation built on freedom, opportunity, and human dignity. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.